Hello and welcome to First Chapter Fridays with Miss Valine here with a most timely book, being that this is Banned Books Week. Teacher librarians and librarians everywhere are bringing to the forefront that many books out there are challenged and often taken off of school shelves because the content in them is not appreciated by certain people in different communities. We have a huge display at our school right now of these banned books that you most definitely couldn't check out because they are not banned at our school. And I have the book by the most awesome author, Alan Gratz, who wrote Ban This Book. Let's take a look. From the back. It's a battle of the books, and Amy Ann is determined to win. It all started the day Amy Ann Ollinger tried to check out her favorite book in the whole world from the mixed up files of Mr. Basil E. Frankweiler from the school library. We do have that book. That's when Mrs. Jones, the librarian, told her that bad news. Her favorite book was banned. All because a classmate's mom thought the book wasn't appropriate for kids to read. Amy Ann decides to fight back by starting a secret banned books library out of her locker. As word spreads, Amy Ann's locker's stash quickly grows into a school-wide sensation. Soon, she and her friends find themselves on the front line of an unexpected battle over book banning, censorship, and who has the right to decide what kids can read. What a great book. First chapter, let's dig in. The mystery of the missing book. It all started the day my favorite book went missing from the library. I didn't know it was missing, not yet. In my mind, it was still sitting there all alone on the shelf like a kid in the cafeteria waiting for her one and only friend to come and find her, waiting for me to find her. All I wanted to do was run to the library and check out my favorite book before homeroom. But Rebecca, my once and only real-life friend, was still talking about trademarking our names. Have you ever thought about registering Amy Ann Ollinger.com? Rebecca asked me. No, Rebecca, I have never thought about registering amyannollinger.com. I'm 9 years old. Why in the world would I bother to register a website with my name on it when my parents won't even let me use Facebook yet? That's what I thought about saying. What I said instead was, no. You should, Rebecca told me. You've got a unique name. But even so, somebody could register it, and then what would you do? RebeccaZimmerman.com is already gone. I'm 10 years old, and already my future intellectual property is being zapped up. Jay-Z and Beyonce trademarked their baby's names less than a month after she was born. You'd think my parents would have known enough to do the same. Rebecca's parents were both lawyers, and she wanted to be one too when she grew up. I could imagine a more boring job. Instead, I said, yeah. I was still itching to get to the library and check out my favorite book. I opened my locker and stuffed my backpack inside and gave my mailbox a quick look. Nobody knows how I got started, but everybody at Shelburne Elementary has these cardboard boxes taped to the inside door of their locker, just below the little vents that they put on there in case you get stuffed in your locker by a bully. If you want to leave a note for somebody, you just slip a piece of paper in the slot and it falls right into your little cardboard box. It's such a tradition that Mr. Crutchfield, the custodian, just leaves the boxes in the lockers from year to year. As usual, my mailbox was empty, which I'd expected. My one and only friend doesn't believe in writing notes. Never leave a paper trail, Rebecca says. More advice from her lawyer parents. Did you hear about Morgan Freeman, the actor? Rebecca asked. Somebody who hasn't named Morgan Freeman registered his name at morganfreeman.com, and he had to sue them to get it back. Now that's an interesting case. I can't imagine anything less interesting, Rebecca. I don't care anything about trademarking or registering domain names. I have to go check out my favorite book before somebody else does. That's what I wanted to tell her. Instead, I held up a handful of books like a shield and said, I have to return these books to the library before class, and backed away before she could tell me more about the court case. I'll see you tomorrow in homeroom, I called. Normally, I would already have my favorite book checked out and in my backpack, but our librarian, Mrs. Jones, had a rule that you can only renew a book 2 times in a row, and then it has to sit on the shelf for 5 whole school days before you can check it out again. She says it's to make sure that other people get a chance to read it, but I think she's made that rule up just to make me read other books, which I would have done anyway. I dumped last night's books in the book return and waved good morning to Mrs. Jones on the way to the fiction shelves. Amy Ann, Miss Jones called. Honey, wait, just let me grab my book, I called back. I turned into the H through N shelves and hurried to where I knew my favorite book would have been waiting for me. Only it wasn't there. I looked again. It still wasn't there. I looked behind the books in the case. It had gotten pushed back, in case it had gotten pushed back, and was hidden behind the other shelves like they do sometimes, but no, it really wasn't there. But my favorite book was always on the shelf. Could somebody else really have checked it out? I was about to go and ask Miss Jones when she turned down the row. Miss Jones is a big white lady with short brown hair and rhinestone granny glasses that hang around her neck on a chain when she isn't reading. Today she was wearing a red dress with white polka dots. Polka dots are her thing. Where's my book? I asked her. That's what I was trying to tell you, honey, Miss Jones said. I knew you'd come in looking for it first thing. It's been 5 days, I told her. I marked it down on my calendar. I get to check it out again after 5 days. You said so. Did somebody else check it out? No, Amy Ann. I had to take it off the shelf. I frowned. Take it off the shelf? What did she mean, take it off the shelf? Why? Miss Jones sighed and wrung her hands. She looked like she was about to tell me my dog had died. Because some parents got together and said they didn't think it was appropriate for elementary school, and the school board agreed with them. Wasn't inappropriate? What does that mean? It means I can't check it out to you, honey, or to anybody else. Not until I talk to the school board and get this nonsense overturned. It means, Amy Ann, that your favorite book was banned from the school library. Ban this book, Alan Gratz. See what Amy Ann Olinger does to her locker and how she gets all of her friends, new friends, to read tons of books that were banned by her school and other schools around her. Reading banned books is a great way to find new authors, great ideas that maybe sometimes you wouldn't think about, books that are challenging your thoughts, and come and check out our display of banned books in the CCMS Media Center. There's also a great display in Destiny at this time. At the beginning of every September, you can find banned books displays throughout your town, in your public libraries, and in bookstores everywhere. But check out Alan Gratz's book, another really great read. See you soon.